At last I have control of your TV set. Are you receiving me?
Welcome to our secret headquarters. Thousands of miles below the Earth's crust. Shut up, you fool! How do we know we can trust them?
I realized that Ren and Stimpy was a success on a Monday after the first episode aired. I mean, everybody knew, oh, it's working.
Every week, the audience would get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Think about this. You're working for another studio. The shows are airing, and all the artists are running into a room to watch the shows.
We had a bet, and I bet that we would get to a 4.0. I was told it's impossible. And on our, I believe it was the 4th airing of the first episode of Ren and Stimpy, we got a 4.0. It was the first time in cable history.
Ren and Stimpy was just this weird show that people were talking about in the animation industry. And then all of a sudden, bam, it was like a hit.
So you guys have been Ren and Stimpy? You're going in? All right, I'll see you.
Golden Apple, comic book store down the street, was having a signing with the Spunko artists.
We expected a few hundred people. We got a couple of thousand people showed up.
We're driving down Melrose, like, oh, wow! And the line went literally around the block to get in to see us and talk to us about Ren and Stimpy.
Cartoons weren't fucking cool then. These were like sexy young people, you know?
These guys are the best animators walking on this planet. No lie.
It's like, suddenly we had like girls following us back to Spumco to look at the studio.
I drove down to Golden Apple, and they were running Ren and Stimpy cartoons on a monitor. I walked in right as it was playing Space Madness, playing the part about the ice cream bar. Everybody in the audience was chanting along with it. They had memorized the damn speech. I don't know the exact date, but it was shortly after the show aired. My dad, I think he called me and said, oh, you did it. I was wrong. You pulled it off. I don't know how. It's pretty weird stuff, but seems like everybody likes it. But don't do the space ones. The space ones are stupid.
Did you do any space ones after that?
No. I got so used to obeying my dad, following his rules. NASA faxed me a bunch of fan letters. So people, not only did they like it and laugh, they were kind of obsessed with it.
I was way into Ren and Stimpy when I was a kid. So I started drawing Ren and Stimpy. I took animation classes at a kids museum. And then when I was 13, I started writing to John Kay. I had built him up in my mind since I was 11 or 12 years old. You know, he had this sort of rock star status in the 90s. I had always wanted to work for him. I just thought that the drawings were just like really cool compared to anything I'd seen on TV, and I wanted to draw like that. I liked intensity in things. Ren's going insane, and Stimpy's tongue looks really gross, and so, you know, it's perfect for that age of kid.
I remember one night I was just sitting there in my living room and just feeling really sorry for myself, and I was just flipping channels, and Ren and Stimpy was on. And I thought I was having an acid flashback. I didn't even know what the fuck it was. I literally just turned on the TV And I saw it, and I was like, oh, this is mine.
Loved Ren and Stimpy. Yeah, I mean, it kicked so much ass. It was so influential, and it was like disgusting, hilarious, and sexual. I mean, it's all clean. There's no bad language. There's no pornography. It's just that you can feel the throbbing energy behind the art.
That's it. You're in our secret club.
It felt like something that was just ours, and it was weird, but like you were part of it. Like you just got it.
My name's Scotty, and I'm just a regular schmuck like anybody else, but I just have a massive affinity for this cartoon and its merchandise. These are all new things like toilet paper and calendar. These are all the comics. These are all the factory direct ones. Little plushies here. The Ren and Stimpy slippers that they sold at Spencer's, and they sold them just like this. You had to have like one club foot and one skinny foot. So I bought 2 pairs just so I had a pair of each. I could wear, you know, a pair of Rens or a pair of Stimpies. I've always been into cartoons, and I've never had a cartoon just grab me by the sack and said, "You're coming with us." This one did. I was, you know, young, just under 20, and, you know, I started smoking weed at that same time, so they were quite a fucking combo, I tell you that. They were playing them all back to back on a Saturday or Sunday, and a buddy of mine recorded on his VHS recorder, and I watched that thing until it was, I mean, almost obliterated. The tape was just so worn out. You would play it on slow, and you would just hit a button, and it would just take you frame by frame by frame by frame, and there was a different picture in every frame. It was, I mean, it was unreal. Whenever you see perfection, recognize it, and they had their perfect moment.
You know, in 1994, I think the merchandising for Ren and Stimpy was like $4 billion or something insane like that. No one had ever seen anything like that. You know, this was creator-driven cartoons. And the whole created by, that being new, that turned it into an auteur form. Before, it was by committee, toys steered the show. It had to be a pre-existing something. But who created that? You know, who created the Transformers cartoon? Who created He-Man? You have to go way back to get Hanna-Barbera or Chuck Jones. Ren and Stimpy, created by John Kay, brought that back.
I wanted the world to know who did it. So I elevated the top artists, like Vincent and Bob and Jim, Chris Riccardi. But I had to fight to be allowed to do it because they didn't like the idea at Nickelodeon.
Well, Stimpy, what's on TV tonight? Oh, joy! Hey, Ren, it's Commander Hook.
People tend to think that if you have a good character, you come up with Bugs Bunny, wow, it's gold. But look at how many times they've tried to revive Bugs Bunny with different people doing it. None of them ever come close to the success of the original Bugs Bunny. It's not Bugs Bunny that is the golden property. It's the artists.
I think a lot of great art hides in kids' cartoons.
What Ren and Stimpy had that other shows didn't have were these close-ups. So you'd have like Ren and Stimpy doing something and then something disgusting, and they would have this like weird, jarring music, like, and it would be a close-up of just very detailed, topographical look at someone's skin or a booger. And you never got to see that stuff on other cartoons. It was unapologetic and disgusting.
If we're gonna show a still, it better be great. It better be amazing painting. It better be this great painting we can hold on, you know, and be disgusting, you know, as gross. And we're gonna make you sit on it because it's so beautiful, but yet it's so gross.
I didn't think of myself, I'm gonna push boundaries. I was more about like, how do you get quality?
Ren and Stimpy was an anomaly in its time. He did not want scripts. Script-driven shows were like anathema to us and to John. He didn't want to have to follow someone's script. He felt like cartoonists were funnier than writers. And to a degree, he was right. I mean, for this show, he was right.
He felt like it was important for him to convey to me my uselessness. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I said, what? Didn't we just have waffles and chicken? Now you're telling me I'm nothing?
People who aren't cartoon writers are not very good at writing cartoons. Just like if you tried to write a music score without knowing how to read music, without never playing an instrument, and tried to describe it in words.
John's legacy is that he reset the clock on animation, that he re-established the storyboard artist and the artist in general as the king of animation.
You had to be constantly moving forward. There was a lot of, oh, this part of the drawing is working. I'm keeping these eyes, but they're too big. So I'm gonna size them down on the Xerox machine, and then I'm just gonna work on the body a little bit, and then you cut and paste into it. So now you've got like 3 or 4 or 5 different elements, and then you're using liquid paper. And so you've got this like, just mess. And your pencil would go over all these, levels of paste and liquid paper.
Any other cartoon production, they would look at our storyboards and say, that's a mess. It didn't matter. The goal was to be funny.
The one episode that I really still think about today is Toothache.
John was always like grabbing somebody to go to lunch. He hated being alone. So it was this Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, world famous. He came up with the whole idea of a Wren's toothache with the nerve endings and the stink. And he's like, yeah, so anyway, his teeth fall out and the stink's coming out and his flies eating the shit in a fucking cat pen and it stinks so bad that this giant black guy behind him turns around and goes, hey, I'm trying to eat here. I don't know what you guys are talking about. It's just disgusting.
Hey, we're trying to eat here. And you stand here airing out your stinky old gumholes.
The genius of Ren and Stimpy wasn't how far it went in being outrageous. It was the fact that an outrageous show could also have so much heart. And with that heart, you suddenly had shows that had a balance to it.
Yeah, that was a great episode. The name got changed to Son of Stimpy, but it was originally called Stimpy's First Fart. That drew a lot of criticism. Like, people were like, all right, you're really hitting bottom. And I remember John saying, oh, no, this is high art.
You're very sympathetic for Stimpy and his situation, and he's heartbroken because he lost his fart, but still it kind of makes you want to cry.
I hate pathos. It drives me crazy because it's contrived. It's just like shoving it down your throat. Vanessa encouraged me. Can you do more scenes in your cartoons with heart? As I say, I was totally opposed naturally to it. So instead, I came up with a way of making fun of it. If I'm going to make people cry, I'm going to make them cry over the most ridiculous reasons.
I thought I'd never smell you again.
And I actually enjoyed doing it. Once I got to the point where I could make fun of pathos, I thought, wow, this is a great ingredient. Most of it came from Vanessa, but she didn't urge me to make fun of it. She urged me to make her cry.
It's so good to have you home. Come in and sit by the fire.